working to the extent that we want it to, because we are putting innocent people. You have people in church, God-fearing people that go and think they can go and come home at night. They should not have to fear that. No one should have to fear that. That's our responsibility as a nation. When we know we have a child, and as a mother, I could not set my child out if I knew I had poured this much hatred in his heart. Do you think that this boy went 21 years and just decided one day all of a sudden he didn't like black people? I don't think so.
Well, thank you for the call on that, folks. It goes beyond that. I mean, he's got the Confederate flag on the license plate. Never mind wearing the apartheid flags. I mean, who walks around? Imagine like you're 20 years old, you don't really even have a job. He works, I think, in landscaping, pest control. He's even wearing a dirty stained sweatshirt. And the father decides to give him a gun for his birthday. I mean, the father has some culpability here as far as, what about him seems stable in any way. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. 1-855-400-7282. Let's go to line 9. Ralph is listening on WABC in New York. Ralph, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello, Ralph.
John, great to talk to you. I'll tell you one thing. I'll leave out the president's remarks because, again, they're useless. They're inappropriate. And he jumps the gun, if you will, pardon the pun. But, you want to weed out these people in a free society. It's virtually impossible. You cannot vet everyone. It's not possible. You have this. I'll give you a common denominator that each one of these crazed individuals usually possess. They're addicts with the social media. They're addicted to psychotropic drugs. And they have this identity crisis where they seek to achieve either posthumously or, in this case, sorry to say, this freak is still breathing, to achieve some sort of celebrity after the fact. We cover this, John, after the fact, like we're covering a baseball game, like we're in a certain sense to a warped individual where we're heralding this maniac to a certain point. That name, Ruff, however you pronounce it, will never be forgotten, and that's unfortunate. And for these losers, John, these kids that have nothing else, this is their moment to shine, as thick and warped as it may be, John.
No, Ralph, I think you're right. And the same thing with these losers is what they are. The same ones that are online who are then being, quote, inspired by ISIS. Years ago, they would just be harmless losers living in the parents' basement. Now they go online, and they suddenly feel like a somebody. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. Piers Morgan is also ranting about this. We'll tell you about that. We'll play more of the president's comments and take more of your phone calls. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage, and you're listening to the Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
My Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust to protect my wealth. Call 800-BUI-COIN.
I've had to make statements like this too many times. Communities like this have had to endure tragedies like this too many times. We don't have all the facts, but we do know that, once again, innocent were killed in part because someone who wanted to inflict harm had no trouble getting their hands on a gun. Now is the time for mourning and for healing. But let's be clear. At some point, we as a country will have to reckon with the fact that this type of mass violence does not happen in other advanced countries.
You're listening to the Savage Nation. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. Remember our website, log on. It's michaelsavage.com. Find out about Dr. Savage's great new book, Countdown to Mecca. It's available right now. Makes a great Father's Day gift, by the way. Makes a tremendous Father's Day gift is Countdown to Mecca. You could also see links to all different types of stories you can't get anywhere else. All the news you need is at michaelsavage.com. That's President Obama speaking at the shooting in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm reading right now, according to CBS News reports, earlier this year when police searched this Dylan Roof, and again, Roff, R-O-O-F, rhymes with cough, Roff. He was acting suspiciously inside a Bath and Body Works store. They found orange strips that Roth told officers Suboxone are narcotics used to treat opiate addiction. If you have any experience with this, give us a call. Maybe you're a doctor, or maybe you're a pharmacist, or maybe you're a salesperson, or just maybe a pharmacy salesperson, or a drug salesperson representative, and maybe you've been on it. Because now we're reading Suboxone is a habit-forming drug connected with sudden outbursts of aggression. And on certain websites, they're posting, they talk about one person said how the husband became addicted to Suboxone and was ruining their life. Another person said horribly aggressive towards the partner after taking 8 milligrams of Suboxone. A website devoted to horror stories about the drug feature a post by a woman whose husband obtained a gun, began violently beating his 15-year-old son after taking Suboxone. So if you have any experience with that, give us a call. Maybe you've never called before, but you have some information or just an interesting perspective on that. 1-855-400-7282. Let's go out back to your phone calls. Jesse on line 1 is listening on KKOB. Jesse, you're up next on the Savage Nation. Hello.
Yes, hi. My experience with Suboxone, I've been on Suboxone now for about 2 years, but prior to that, I was a raging drug addict, and once I was put on Suboxone, it calmed me down, and I've been able to maintain a very productive, healthy life with it. And I don't really see that there'd be any kind of correlation between, just based on my experience, between what happened with this guy, and I think it's quite a bit more in the background. I think there's probably a lot of hatred in this family. I think that the kid had other problems besides just the use of Suboxone. I think there was probably other drugs involved.
You didn't have any type of violent outburst, Jesse?
I've never had a violent outburst on this.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it more. Again, log on to the website, michaelsavage.com, and we'll take more of your phone calls. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. Coming up, you're going to hear someone describe what an eyewitness told her being inside that church. This is John DePietro sitting in on the Savage Nation.
At the conclusion of the Bible study, they just start hearing loud noises just ringing out. And the suspect had already wounded a couple of individuals, one of the survivors, and she said that he had reloaded 5 different times. And her son was trying to talk him out of killing people. And he just said, I have to do it. You rape our women and you're taking over our country. And you have to go.
The fact that this took place in a black church obviously also raises questions about a dark part of our history. This is not the first time that black churches have been attacked. And we know that hatred across races and faiths pose a particular threat to our democracy and our ideals.
You're listening to the Savage Nation. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. Welcome to join our program. You can call 1-855-400-SAVAGE, 1-855-400-7282. Remember also to visit the website. It's michaelsavage.com. Remember, right now, for all the latest news, log on michaelsavage.com, and also Countdown to Mecca, Dr. Savage's latest book, a great Father's Day gift. It's available right now for you at michaelsavage.com. That was President Obama talking about the horrible shooting that took place in Charleston, South Carolina. We're starting to learn more about the shooter, and we'll tell you about that and a lot more. But let's go out to some of your phone calls. Line 2 is Adam, and he's listening on WABC in New York. Adam, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon, John. How are you?
Very well, Adam. Go right ahead.
Hey, I can't believe we're not hearing this, and I know you commented this on earlier. The problem isn't guns necessarily. It's the people that are purchasing them. They're leaving them open to people, they know around that are not the healthiest. Like, I can't imagine if I had a son knowing that we're learning right now, and then we saw the same thing with Sandy Hook, how could you be having, if you know your kid is something, possibly something wrong, why would you even, in the Sandy Hook, we found out that the mother trained him to use guns, and then in the second time we heard, a father buys a 21-year-old kid that he knows has health issues or mental issues. What could they be thinking? How could something go wrong, hypothetically? It's unbelievable. And the second thing I wanted to bring up is, this isn't race. That's a terrible thing to anybody to bring up the race. It's just, unfortunately, you can't stop bad people just to be out there. What are we going to monitor saying, oh, you're a bad person? It's, like I said, I just don't understand why we're not hearing politicians bringing up the parental responsibility that that when you have a gun, it's a responsibility just as much as it's a right. You just can't have it open necessarily to someone that, God forbid, they get their hands on them, they're dangerous. And,
right, but Adam, if somebody walks into a church and says, I'm here to kill black people, it's tough to get away from that. It's race motivated. Never mind he's got pictures wearing these jackets with flags and patches that have to do with apartheid and Confederate flag. I mean, there's obviously, but Adam, the other element is exactly, I think, what you said initially. I mean, the father giving him a gun and he sounds like a drug addict who's taking this drug that seems to bring on violent outbursts, Adam. I mean, where's the responsibility with that? Where are the parents on that? And then President Obama, again, Adam, kind of jumps I don't mean to say jump the gun, but jumps the gun as far as immediately talking about, black churches and also there's too many guns, when it possibly could be someone who shouldn't have had any access, well, not only gun, but more importantly was the reaction of the drugs.
I know someone that's actually on that drug, to be honest with you, and they've had outbursts of rage, and I would think twice of ever putting them around, a weapon. It's just, drugs are the main thing behind this as well, too. We need to do a better job of assessing who we let out as far as the public health system. We can't just have, so one of the callers earlier said, we can't just have all these people out there that have mental issues just easily walking around. I mean, your comment on that? Yeah. No,
I agree with you, Adam. Thank you for the call. 1-855-400-7282. As far as the president and other people say, well, it's a matter of guns. There shouldn't be so many guns. Yeah, tell that to the people in upstate New York and Vermont that for the past 12 days have been living with their doors locked and sleeping with a gun in their lap because there's two fugitives on the loose because of some idiots at the prison, decided to bring tools in to help them escape. So, yeah, you're able to say when somebody walks in like that, well, there shouldn't be guns, but like I said, tell that, or people that are along the border that wake up in the morning and there's illegals cutting through their front backyard. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. ABC News headline: Obama says church shooting shows need for reckoning on guns. It is kind of reckless for the president to just be, a reckoning on guns. And make no mistake about it, it is absolutely horrific. These people go for a Bible study group, and this nut comes in. How about the fact, the reports are that he sat there for an hour. If you take, I think these people, they were probably too nice. I mean, I know you're in a church and you're in a Bible study group, but you take one look at him. I wouldn't be around this guy for like 1 minute without being like, can I help you? Or like, who are you? I mean, there's these nice, beautiful people in there having a Bible study meeting, and then, a drug addict, bowl haircut nut walks in and just sits there for an hour and waits till they finish, and then proceeds to kill 9 of them. And reports are that he said to one person, I'm going to spare you because I want you to be able to tell everyone what happened. I mean, at least in South Carolina, they have the death penalty. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. Do you think that President Obama is bringing the country together on race, or do you think there's more of a racial divide? Do you feel that there was a bigger race problem before President Obama got into office, or a race problem has developed more since he's been in office? I also just saw a headline: race leaders, now they're afraid there's going to be riots tonight or going forward this weekend. I mean, doesn't the country, it just seems like it's spiraling out of control right now. Let's go to line 5. Leno is listening on KKOH in Reno. Leno is on the Savage Nation with John DePietro. Hello, Leno.
Yes, sir. With regard to Obama, as soon as he removes the obstacles for his trial in Fast and Furious, he'll then have the right to